What up, guys? I'm Example, and you know what? It is so lovely to see you again. I missed you guys so much, but I am back. Thank goodness. Yes, that is right. My little misunderstanding with the insurance company is all taken care of. It's sorted. Of course, they did say it was only going to take a week, and they told me that on April 6th. So it's now been 45 days, 5 times that. But hey, to be fair, to be totally fair, I did say I would finish the Your Lie in April video, this video, within a week. And I said that about a month ago, about 4 weeks ago. Quod erat demonstrandum, hypocrisy, thy name is Example. Now we're back to our regular upload schedule. I'm so excited. Let's take a look at Your Lie in April. Do we have time for a joke about me not getting this done while it was still April? No, I don't think so. Alright, let's go ahead and open with the premise, as we usually do. For any of you that aren't already familiar with this great series, basically we're going to be following a piano prodigy called Kosei and some of his friends through a lighthearted, fun musical adventure where everyone has a great time and nothing bad ever happens to Best Girl. No, I'm just crying because it's because it's so much fun. It's great. Okay, I'm lying through my teeth. The truth is, Your Lie in April is full of child abuse, grooming, the anxiety of post-mortem responsibilities, death and terminal illness, different philosophical approaches to the primal fear of the unknowable latent inside all of mankind. And, I mean, I guess there's some music, too. So, what do you think? Sound fun? Let's get started, then. Tonight, we're going to be analyzing Your Lie in April, but maybe more importantly even than that, we're going to talk about how the industry has responded to it on the whole. Yes. In case you're new to the channel, guys, because I'm a media journalist in my day job, we are lucky enough to have access to all sorts of press packets, interviews, lots of early information, sources, connections, you know, a bunch of other useful stuff like that here on this channel. If you got any questions, of course, about any upcoming anime or light novels, visual novels, anything like that, even films, really, go ahead, leave it down in the comments. I'll do the best I can. Sometimes I'm not allowed to talk about certain things before certain dates, but it's gonna come in real handy tonight, because we're using some poll and write-in data, alongside a bit of market data, which is always fun, and an interview with the creative team to explore the impact of Your Lie in April on the industry, now that we're a few years down the line. How, you may ask? It's a great question. Well, first and foremost, we're going to do it by deconstructing Your Lie in April at the narrative building block level. In fact, once we're there at the narrative building block level, I think that you'll find, interestingly enough, that basically every major aspect of the show from front to back is designed to help achieve a very specific purpose. Yeah, by emphasizing a very specific character. Alright. I see no reason to sandbag this any longer. Your Lie in April was basically built from the ground up for anime immortality. In other words, all of the pieces are there, at least in theory, to make this anime so emotionally impactful, so memorable, that the audience will never forget it. But did it work? Well, to find out, we're first going to have to quickly break down some of those major narrative building blocks I was just talking about. And here's a good one to start with. Your Lie in April is an anime that relies very heavily on character development. Basically, we've got a relatively small main cast. That's how these things usually work. We get introduced to a few major characters early on, and then basically everything from there on out is just a process of following those characters as they grow and evolve and adapt and change. Fortunately, the characters in this show are generally fairly strong, so we can cross that one off the list, thank goodness. Your Lie in April has a cast that will stick with you. They are memorable, of course, some more than others, I should say, of course. But then again, that's not exactly accidental, is it? After all, who's the most memorable character from Your Lie in April? If I were to ask you that question right now on the spot, what would you answer? Who's the strongest character in a vacuum? Kaori. You guessed it. So then, what is it that makes her the most effective character? Actually, answering that leads us pretty neatly to our next major narrative building block, because partly it's down to effective pacing. In fact, especially for a show like this, almost everything important comes down to the pacing. Romance, suspense, tension, excitement, atmosphere, characterization, tragedy, comedy, all of that stuff is basically built on the pacing. And now that I think about it, in Your Lie in April, all of that stuff is basically also built on Kaori, isn't it? Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Certainly not accidental, I think. But hey, let's keep it moving, right? With so much riding on the pacing, Your Lie in April had to do it well. And once again, they did. Partly, of course, by making sure to get a lot of pacing help from the quality of the dialogue, which is fundamentally a subset of general writing quality. Yet another major narrative building block for us to examine. This one basically just has to do with how we measure the strength of the actual technical writing that underpins everything else in the show. With a series like Your Lie in April, for example, this one, quality of writing, technical writing, is by far like the most important of the lot. Not close. Good writing quality means a strong plot, compelling hooks, good dialogue. Good dialogue means good characterization, and it also helps a lot with good pacing, which in turn helps to set up character development and narrative payoffs, etc., etc. It's literally all connected to good writing at some level. And again, Your Lie in April delivers the goods. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that there is a whole lot of melodrama, actually, across the whole series, but especially in the later episodes, let's be real. And yet, once again, we find that Kaori is at the center of all the most important bits of another major narrative building block. Well, the quality of the writing is at its best when the subject is Kaori, or Kaori and Kosei. Say it with me now. This doesn't appear to be accidental. We're getting into the really good stuff. Why did they put so much emphasis on Kaori when you look at the series through a critical analysis lens? Well, for those of you that have seen the series already, you know, don't you? I don't even have to tell you. Final warning, guys. Anyone who wants to stay out of spoiler country, time codes will be in the description on the screen as well for you. You gotta take off now, because for everyone else, it's because Kaori doesn't make it, of course. Every major narrative element of Your Lie in April revolves around Kaori in order to endear her to us, to the audience. And to Kosei as well, of course, the eyes through which we are experiencing this story. It's there, it's all there to encourage us to grow attached to her relationships with her friends, with Kosei, and it's there so that we come to love her, come to care about her music, about her feelings, about her life. And the creative team did do this intentionally, as I've been subtly hinting all along. It really wasn't an accident. I can confirm this. It was clever design. Yes, it's all building up to the end of the series. By then, our emotional response to losing her is powerful enough that we never forget it. This was, in theory at least, the way that Your Lie in April should have become an immortal anime. But don't change the channel just yet, because according to the raw data, so far, it doesn't actually seem to have worked. Statistically speaking, at least. It's not actually Your Lie in April that has become immortal. It's Kaori herself. Just her. She, by far, overshadows the anime she comes from in terms of long-term cultural impact, market force, and mass relevance. References to her were almost 800% more likely to appear than references to the show in comment data and write-in data. Of course, that does include dank memes, though. There's more, however. According to the market data, Kaori merchandise accounts for 75 to 95% of all Your Lie in April merchandise in Japan. And the publisher poll data suggests that 73% of viewers couldn't remember any of the other characters' names, only Kaori's name. 86% said they loved Kaori, but only 64% said they loved Your Lie in April. Yes, the former has actually gone up since the anime premiered, by a significant margin. The latter is way down. The original polling data was from the same year that it launched, but these new numbers do reflect the time that has passed since then, so it's not unreasonable or crazy that so many people couldn't remember the supporting cast characters' names, only Kaori's name. But the important thing is that they did remember Kaori's name. And you know what? I bet you they never forget it. When you think about it, it's just not really surprising, is it? Like, at all. Kaori needed to stand out, and she did. She needed to be a positive force. She needed to be beautiful, fun, interesting, compelling as a character, mysterious and memorable, charming. The entire show was riding on it. And, well, they nailed it, huh? I mean, the creative team knows it. They know they took a risk. But they also now know that they created a classic. I mean, just look at her. She's best girl. Really, it should have been obvious that years later, what we remember, what we think about when we think of Your Lie in April, it's Kaori. It would be Kaori. It had to be. We remember our emotional connection to Kaori, and we remember her story. It was designed that way, and that's how it went for almost all of us. According to the data, we remember losing her. We remember the tragedy of losing her. We remember her. So, in conclusion, somewhat paradoxically then, it seems, the creative team, in the process of trying to make an immortal anime, ended up making an immortal character instead. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a long time overdue, but I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad to see you guys again. Monica is bae. Heart you forever. We are back to a regular upload schedule again, so I hope to catch you next week. Have a good night.